This webinar is being recorded. By participating in this webinar, you agree that Angelique Robbins has all rights to this recording, and you grant her permission to use your image and any written or spoken comments you choose to offer during the course of the webinar in any matter she chooses. Are you guys good with that? Cool.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll give a brief introduction. I think most of you know who I am, but I'll still give a brief one because people watch these afterwards. So my name is Angel, and when I was 19 years old, I had a near-death experience. In that near-death experience, I met this tsunami of energy. It was very frightening, actually, at the time. And I called it God, and it replied back to me that its name was Geschichte. I learned many years later that that word Geschichte means history and story in German. I learned that from my dad, who told me that he's a biblical scholar, and he said when you're studying that, they actually use the terminology Heilsgeschichte to teach about the holy history. Heilsgeschichte means holy history. So for him, it was validating of my experience, and to see it validated in him was validating of my experience. So almost 20 years, I misspelled Geschichte's name because I didn't know that it was an actual word. But from that near-death experience, I started having very strange things happen to me. I went into sleep paralysis during the day, every single day for about a year afterwards. And so I would fall asleep in the middle of the day, and then I would have these audio hallucinations of people walking around me and whatnot. And I, to this day, don't know if there were actually people walking around me. I don't really know what was happening to me during those. But that year after that near-death experience really changed a lot about me. I was led to study with a woman who channeled the angel Michael. And I learned directly from Michael for 13 years. And in my alone time, I was learning from Geschichte, which I learned later is the angelic realm. So the angelic realm that I met led me to a woman who also channeled angels. And that was my area of study for, about 2 decades. I learned so much about energy, how to really feel energy, how to listen to energy, how to basically communicate with energy. And I use this skill to help others. I use this skill to be able to tell when people are lying. I'm still not, perfect at it, but I believe that all human beings are being led in this direction to where we have more transparency. And the way that we get to that space of transparency is by being able to communicate using our energetic selves more than relying upon, what our mouths are saying or what we're writing or whatever. So in the year 2012, I got really sick and almost died again. And in that experience, I had something very strange happen to me afterwards, and it was kind of like this aspect of me that I came into the world with died. I don't know if you would call it a part of my egoic self or whatever, but it went away. It was like it actually died during that experience. And it was after that experience that Geschichte started moving into my body and speaking to people. So if an important topic came up and I wasn't doing a good job with it, Geschichte would move into my body and just start speaking. So that's what started my channeling, teaching people in this way, and also working with clients in this way. And it hasn't stopped since that. So I was 34 when that happened, and I'm 42 now. And this is my life now. And before all of that, I was actually an artist. So my whole life flipped on that second near-death experience. And I feel like my first near-death experience and all of that time that led up to that was preparing me for my life to flip in this way. And I think all of that is just that I, along with all of you, we're all here at this time on this planet right now to bring about a new world. And I'm going to channel Geschichte today so that they can teach you about this emotional alchemy process and the importance of it, and help each of you be further in leadership positions by cleansing yourselves. So, you guys ready? All right. I'm going to record this both on video and on audio. The audio, you'll be able to download it into your own Dropbox, which is it's free if you don't already have that. You can just download Dropbox onto your computer or your phone. And then you can have the audio recording for yourself forever. Okay, here we go. The song I'm about to sing, Geschichte taught me this song when I was in my early 20s, and it's an attunement song, they say. So after I'm done singing, you'll be speaking with Geschichte. Home, say, Safanata. Home, say, Safanata. Ooh, ooh, hey, save come, Seiken, save come, Seiken. Ooh, safe no. Ooh, for say, safe no. Second, hey, for no day, hey, for no day. Come for day. He come for day. Come for day. He Tienkennu Nyam fortiet Nyam fortiet Om for Sam Tienkennu. Good afternoon, everyone. So good to see you. Thank you for being here today. So we'll give you a just brief synopsis of emotional alchemy and why it's important, okay? Most of you on this call already know that you are energetic beings first. As an energetic being, any area of energy or any area of information or any area of frequency are areas of great importance because you're talking about attunement in one way or another, which then creates an expression or a physical unfolding or some type of manifestation. So to leave out the importance of emotional energy is to leave out the basis of how life operates, because life is an energetic unfolding. So most of you grow up in this world. You're taught from a very early age to suppress your emotions. You're taught that negative emotions are inappropriate. You're even taught that positive emotions are inappropriate, and you're consistently hushed and really encouraged to act more like a robot or to be less attached to your emotional self. And the reason that you're taught that, at least on the surface, is that you're taught that by people who don't understand how to deal with their emotional self. So in their mind, the way that you deal with the emotional self is to ignore it or just not give it very much attention. Because if you give it too much attention, then you are allowing your emotional self to take over you. And if you really look into your society, you can see evidence of that all over the place. That the idea of having any kind of intense emotion is looked down upon, it's considered inappropriate, and you should get a hold of that. You should try to control it. You should try to suppress it, whatever. And what we're saying is that the emotions are there for a purpose. They're teaching you something energetically. And if you want to really master your emotional self, you don't control it, you allow it. And you listen to it and you learn from it and you harmonize with it. So that you're not in the position of being afraid of your emotions, which then causes you to avoid them. You're actually in the position of receiving the emotions so that you can receive the message. And the message is a navigational message, always. Emotions are to help you navigate. And when you really start learning how to interact with them and how to understand them, how to listen to them, it's very clear that emotions are a navigational tool that you have. The most important one that you have, in fact. So when it comes to emotional alchemy, what the basis of emotional alchemy is having negative emotions and learning how to transform them into positive emotions through a true, authentic, present, and nurturing and receiving unfolding, not through ignoring them and pretending like they don't exist. But if you focus on something positive, you can just make the negative emotion not exist by focusing on what's positive. That's complete BS. It does not occur that way. And anyone who's really looked into it knows that it doesn't. Because later you can visit that negative emotion again, can't you? So this is what happens is when you're trying to deal with the emotions in that way, the negatives still come up, and it's even easier to have your buttons pushed, and then it's even easier to go into states of denial and avoidance because you don't know how to handle those negative emotions. And at that point now you've taught yourself that the way you handle a negative emotion is to completely ignore it and to just try to distract yourself with something positive. And so when you hear us say it, you can feel the fragmentation of that, yes? Well, you guys are your whole beings. So either you can disrespect the fact that you're whole beings and compartmentalize everything, or you can respect the fact that you're whole beings and you can integrate everything. So emotional alchemy is an integration process. It's teaching you about integration. So what we're going to do is we're going to get your feedback on where you think the world is right now, what your experience with the world is at this moment emotionally, because you're all connected. So even if you're not the one experiencing the emotion right in this moment, we venture a large guess that you are feeling it to some degree, or you wouldn't even be on this call. And so we'd like to know what you're witnessing in the world around you and how that relates to how you're feeling in your everyday lives, because they are connected. This is important because humanity is on the precipice of a very different world, and you're in the chaos state at the moment. In the chaos state is where it's very, very important to organize the energy, and for those of you who can, to transform the energy so that you can pull yourselves out of chaos faster. Okay? Furthermore, the ability to process through your emotions with maturity is really the next frontier of humanity, because of what we said in the beginning, that energy is always preceding physical manifestation. So if you really want to understand what you're manifesting in your own life and what you're manifesting collectively, you have to understand what the energetic investment is. If you do not try to understand what the energetic investment is, then you will not be able to understand what's unfolding before you. Furthermore, when you know how to interact with your own emotions in this way, when you understand how to interact with emotional energy in this way, it's very difficult for anyone to manipulate you using your emotional self. So if you look at what's occurring in the world right now, that is exactly what's occurring. There are different forces trying very much to manipulate you through your emotional self. So when you are truly the master of your emotional self, that is impossible to do. So just the fact that so much of the world is being manipulated at this point in time shows you where you guys are emotionally as a collective. If you want to get out of this space and experience a more free and harmonious experience, which we know you guys do, you have to be able to master this aspect of yourselves. So we would like to hear where you guys are, where you think the world is right now, so that we can kind of take the temperature and come up with an emotional starting point. So any of you who want to share, please feel free. Go ahead, Linda.
I've been feeling this huge sense of rejection, and it seems to be being flung around, either people feeling rejected or people throwing rejection out there um, for good reasons, for bad reasons. People rejecting the status quo, but then other people feeling rejecting the people who are rejecting the status quo. It's this swirling thing of everyone flinging this rejection or getting hit by it, and it hits hard. So
very good observation. Very good. Anyone else? Pat says, I feel disgusted. Okay, good, Pat. A lot of people in the world are definitely feeling that right now, too. Which really dovetails perfectly with the rejection, too, doesn't it? Go ahead, Nicole. You're on mute.
There you go. Better. I've been talking to people and kind of things opening up here now that we're back home. It's more kind of confusion and chaos because some people needed to slow down. We all needed to slow down and figure out what's important. And now that things are opening up, it's like, oh, holy shit, we're right back into not totally back into where we were, but everybody's jumping in and going to restaurants and doing, and getting back to that busy life of burying things again. So there's that chaotic confusion kind of going on.
Very good. Very good. And Lori, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm feeling this need to stop sitting here and waiting for something to happen. I'm feeling this need that I should be doing something about this. I don't know how to control this desire to make people aware. And I don't mean make it. I mean, I want to present the other side and all the sides so that I feel people are not willing to see everything that's going on. They want to feel like they're being taken care of. That's a better place to be. If somebody else they tell us what we need to do, then that makes my life simple. They're not willing to step into that risky area of finding out maybe something other than what they've been told. And I want to make them feel it's okay. It's our right to question. We have that right. Feel comfortable standing up and questioning whatever you want to. And I'm sitting here I don't know. I feel like time is slipping by and I've done nothing to help make this a different place and a different scenario and a change for the good. I don't know. I just feel helpless, I guess.
Yeah, we think a lot of people are feeling helpless too, so that's good. Thank you. And Chantel says sadness. Yeah, we agree, Chantel. And Christine says not knowing how to walk into the new normal and accept that what is for you might not be for another. What if it were all God, source, the universe in expression? Okay. Very good, Christine. All right, so anyone else want to share? Go ahead, Pamela. You're on mute though. You gotta unmute yourself.
Angry, hurt, and fearful.
Very good. So there's so many emotions, huh? It's good. Thank you guys for sharing. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of dive into you as a group and then dive into you as the collective. And we want you to know that everything you brought to the table, you will feel it / hear it addressed in the alchemy session, okay? So just know that none of you will be left out. So just give us a sec. I'm gonna dive in and come up with the source that encompasses all of it. Okay, so when we dive into the whole thing, when we dive into everything that you guys said, and when we dive into the collective of the world right now, we would just energetically, we would call it disconnected. There's a sense of disconnection on so many levels, which is creating fear, confusion, anger, sadness, helplessness, feeling lost, feeling chaotic, basically all of it, okay? So can you guys feel that? Can you feel the essence of disconnected and what's going on right now? It's like the lifeline to human beings is not touching you in some way or another in your perspective, okay? So let's dive into that. So can you all find, no, wherever it was that you were when you were talking to us, you can start there, okay? So you can go into your chest in the way that that feels. Just know that disconnected is connected to what you said, even if you don't understand that quite yet. So go into what you said or into what you feel on behalf of the world, how that lives in your chest in this uncomfortable space, and just allow yourself to sit in there, feeling it and feeling the uncomfortable nature of it, and just follow along. So the main thing is just do your best to stay present with us. It's okay if you fall asleep or you feels like you go into some type of la la land coma. That's normal. We're actually working with your energy to help you become more receptive, to help you come into a receptive state so that you can receive this energetic correction or healing, however you want to say that, with more ease. So just do your best not to be on your phones or anything like that, but be in it with us and just follow along. That's all you have to do, okay? So here we go. So as we sink down into this feeling of disconnected, it's quite heavy, dense, thick, cluttered. So as we sit in it, we're going to allow the energy to speak. On so many levels, it feels like I'm blinded, like I just can't see. I feel confused about my own clarity. I feel like there's nothing I can do that's big enough. I feel so much divisiveness. So much rejection. So much anger. It just feels like it's flying around everywhere. It doesn't even have a place to go. It just seems like the anger, the hatred, just haphazardly flies onto each other and lands. And overall, I just feel like something's not right. Something's just not right. The energy's changing into fear. There's so much pressure right now. Pressure to think this way. Pressure to act this way. Pressure to see things this way. It's like we're snuffing out each other's freedom. Freedom to express. Whether we're too busy or not busy enough. It's like there's chains on our freedom of expression. Which makes moving in any direction feel almost impossible. It's like I'm running fast on a treadmill. I'm just so afraid that it's all crumbling. And somehow I won't have made the correct decision in one way or another. And I will have contributed to something worse in one way or another. I just feel defeated. So the energy's changing into defeated. Sink down into that. What's the point of trying exactly? I constantly feel overpowered anyway by various things. It's like success is this faraway thing. Whether it be success in money, success in health, success in happiness. It just seems so distant. And I just feel like I'm exhausting myself trying to create it. I feel like there's always some energy fighting me, no matter what. I'm just tired. The energy's changing. Into rebellion. Even though I feel defeated over and over again, I still feel like rising up. Whether it be in my own tiny ways, within my own tiny life, or whether it be on a global scale, to stand up for all humans. I really can feel this fire inside me. And as I allow myself to get in touch with that fire, I can feel the passion of it, the righteousness of it. Like something deep within me just knows. This is my life, and I have a right to my own success in all areas. The energy's changing. would say this energy is condescending. And allow it to speak. Do you know how often I feel like using sarcasm? Just to defend myself? Why anyone feels like they have any kind of rights over me? Like, why does anyone else feel like they have the right to invade my space? To tell me what to do? To invade my boundaries? I just want to put it right back on someone else. Say something like, do you know how stupid you are? That you think you have the right to tell me how to live my life? Why do I have to defend myself on how I live my life? You think you can completely encroach upon my space? As if I'm the inappropriate one? You're in my space. You're the one who's inappropriate. And even when I point it out to you, you still don't get out of my space. You still think you have some kind of right to be in here? Fine then. Just know this, if your energy's in my space, I'm going to do something with it. I'll give you to the count of 3. If you don't get out, I'm assimilating your energy. The energy's changing. We would call this energy assimilation. And absorption. Divine law states that we must respect each other's boundaries. And that when we don't, we have actually given a part of ourselves away. This is the great understanding that's occurring now. every bit of invaded space is assimilated into that individual's energy field. This means that if you try to take over my energetic space with your energy, you have given me your energy to take as mine. So if your purpose in invading my space is to take my energy, it will backfire on you. This is the brilliance of what is occurring right now, energetically. Understanding this law, I keep very sublime awareness of my own energy field. And when I've invaded someone else's. And I keep this same awareness when someone has invaded mine. And if my space is invaded, instead of pushing back, I assimilate the energy that has come into my space and that has been given to me. This creates a flow of receptivity where I'm no longer engaging in the habit of pushing back energetically. But instead, I'm remaining open and assimilating. This is the true way to teach one another how to not invade each other's space. It's also the true way to stay connected to the heart of ourselves. If I am connected to me and in integrity with me, respecting your space, then I'm not bringing anyone else harm. And if I am connected to the heart of me, and you're disrespecting my space, I simply remain connected and allow your invasion to become part of me until you decide to leave due to the discomfort. And in this way, I do not disrespect your free will. And I still respect my own free will as well. The energy's changing. We would call this energy awareness. As I am unafraid of invading energies and remaining connected to the heart of me, I have remarkable awareness and a remarkable sense of calm. From this space, I can easily see the next best decision. I can easily feel what is respecting and what is not. I can easily love. Easily hold boundaries. Easily organize my thoughts, my behaviors. I can easily see what things are mine to deal with, what things are out of my control. And I can easily understand the different facets at play within my own life. This allows me to respond to any situation with clarity and intention. And it allows me to easily exercise patience when something has not reached its completion. Because in this state of awareness, I can easily see when something is still playing out. In this state of awareness, I can understand my influence. I can understand how to influence something that's still in a state of progression. And I can remain relaxed as I watch it all interact. The energy's changing. Into independence. With all of this understanding, I can easily feel my own space. I feel calm within my own space. And I can also feel how holding my own space sacred in this way, respecting my own space in this way, allows me to feel the beautiful nuance of connection. The importance of the uncluttered space. I have the power to organize my energetic space because it's mine, given to me by our great Creator. So I dedicate myself to keeping my own space clear, organized, open, receptive, and integrating. I keep movement going instead of stagnation. I can easily feel that I am the master of my own space. And if I allow someone else to become master of my space, that's on me. So I hold this as a very high priority. Practicing deep respect for myself. And I understand that in this practice of self-respect, I am respecting others as well. I can easily feel in this space that independence, true independence, is an outcome of connection. Connection to my own heart, my own soul, my own integrity, my own self-respect. I'm willing to hold myself accountable to keeping my personal space organized, clear, connected. And if I find myself out of sorts, I will visit my knowledge in this area and find my way back to connection, back to centeredness, back to healthy independence. I am the master of me, and I take full accountability for being so. I am an energetic being and I take full accountability for keeping that energy flowing. The energy is changing. Into settled. By establishing my independence through connection, I am settled, rooted, safe. My life is both an outward expression and an inward expression. And it's essential that I remember the inward expression. The importance of keeping it sacred. The importance of keeping it personal to me, sacred to me. I am absolutely acceptable in my authentic expression. And therefore I deeply accept me. And as I realize that we are all becoming more and more a genuine expression of our connected selves. I experience ease and allowing of others unfolding. The energy is changing. I would say this ending energy is all encompassing. Connected and centered in myself. I feel how I'm a part of all of it. All of the changing pieces, all of the moving parts of the entire collective life experience. There is no separating me from it. Only being aware of my space within it. So I master my space within it. And I allow every bit of energy that comes from my space to have a blessing effect on all of the rest of the space. And I do this by allowing my own space to be blessed by me, by my connection to the source of all life. By my consistent self-correction. By my consistent purification. And by my perpetual involvement with love itself. I choose what I radiate. And I make this choice by what I choose to cultivate on a moment-to-moment basis. And I realize as we all choose to function in this way, we create harmony. We create connection. We create a magnificent experience for all. Take note of how you feel and slowly come back. So how do you guys feel? Christine says she feels peaceful and peace-filled. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Thank you for sharing, Christine. Anyone else want to share? Go ahead, Pamela.
I feel peaceful.
You're muted.
I feel lighter and I feel sleepy.
You're muted, Pamela. We can't hear you.
I thought I unmuted. No. I'm unmuted. Do you hear me now?
Oh, never mind. Now talk. We had you muted. Sorry.
I feel peaceful. I feel lighter and I feel sleepy.
Excellent. Thank you. Anyone else?
Okay. I feel it all brought in. So chaos has all come in and it's very settled now into my chest area.
Perfect. Yeah, hopefully you all feel sorted. And Nicole says she feels calm, peaceful, and focused. Perfect. So you guys listen to this recording as much as you want, okay? Because you really help yourself by listening to it, and you also help your fellow humans by listening to it. Okay? And thank you so much for being a part of this today. Goodbye, everyone.